Hey guys, it's Josh here, managing partner at LPL Financial Partners. And today I wanted to spend a little bit of time with you guys going through other areas that a lot of advisors I feel don't talk about. A lot of people look at us as wealth managers or investment management. What our group here at LPL loves to do is the financial planning. That encompasses everything. Encompasses the investments, life insurance, your 401ks, your retirement plans you have through your employers, college planning, everything else that ties into the financial plan. So kind of think of it like your personal CFO. But one of the big things that I feel like a lot of advisors don't talk about is the insurance side of things. And we talk about life insurance, and you got to make sure that if something happens to you drastically and you pass away, that your family is covered to help them with the burden of you passing away, accomplishing still some of the goals that you have and replacing your income. But one of the areas that a lot of people don't talk about is disability. Is what happens if I become disabled? Not only in the short term, but also in the long term. And what happens to my family if I can't have any type of income that's actually there? Now, a lot of employers do offer disability insurance. But what I'm more talking about is specific for certain employees that are out there that have very specialties within their own industry. So if you're a doctor, you're a nurse, anesthesiologist, engineer, attorney, other industries where you can't necessarily replace 100% or close to your income of what you were making because you're a specialist. And that's really where disability comes into play. Is yes, your employer may have some type of policy for you, which is fantastic. But a lot of times what you want to look at is supplement. And when you're supplementing with your own policy itself, the one key thing that you want to look at is having what's called an own occupation clause. What this clause in those policies states that if you can't do your particular job, then this allows you to continue to collect on your disability policy that's actually there. So an example is, let's say you are a physician or a nurse, or even an anesthesiologist, right? And you can't be an anesthesiologist, but you can work on the nursing desk or somewhere else within the hospital. Your group policy will cover you generally for about 2 years. And then after that, they'll say, well, you can be a normal nurse now. And so we're no longer going to cover you on the disability. But when you have your own policy and it has that own occupation clause inside of there, what that allows you to do is saying, hey, I still can't do my job that I was doing in the past. And so that policy will start to continue to pay out as long as you can't do that particular job. And so when you're going through and you're doing your financial planning, this is one big area that you want to focus on to make sure that you can have those different areas covered of replacing the income if something were to happen to you where you don't pass away. So I think that's a big thing that we always look at in the past, is saying, how do we replace if something happens drastically? What if my spouse passes away? Terrible event. But more, what happens if my wife gets disabled? And it may be for a short term, for a year, 2 years, 3 years. But what if it's longer? How do you replace that income that you and your family were counting on? And so once again, when we're building out a financial plan, this is one of the areas that we really want to focus on to make sure that we cover that income or that potential loss of income. So if you haven't had a chance to look at your disability policies in a long time, feel free to reach out to us, info@tidemarkfp.com, or you can obviously check out our website. Thank you for joining us today. We're going to come up with a lot of other topics and continue to bring this to the forefront when it comes to financial planning. Because one of the things that we do is specialized advice for specialized careers. Have a great day, guys.